Yeah, we're streaming.
Oh, good. I see Mr. Peabody.
I
My
see.
dad just complimented my workout on my Apple Watch.
Huh.
Do you have an Apple
Yeah, we're
Watch? Like every
streaming.
time I have a workout, it like tells everybody that's following my workouts what I did, and then they can like give you a smart ass comment that the watch suggests.
No. I have a Samsung watch, which I am not wearing right now.
Hold on, we're live here. Let me close the audio.
Andy Baldwin. That's what I just had to do. Just get some
That's
feedback.
right.
Mr. Peabody.
I like those stripes. Those are nice.
Thanks.
They look good.
It's just fun to, do something a little different for season 5. I had the idea of this. Let's do a bandstand with some spots, and this is what it morphed into.
That's hot.
Yeah, it's real hot.
Yeah.
Hey, gang, we have some information for you. If you just tuned in, I just want to let you know our surgeon got called in. He was on call. It's the first time he's ever been actually called in on a show. So we have no Brian tonight. It's going to just be a classic Mark and Adam episode.
Right.
I can hear the applause now.
Yeah, no more Brian. Jeez Louise. Oh, hey. Thank you. Oh.
You know, what's funny is they start clapping so abruptly and end so quickly. It's just...
You need more of a smattering, to start.
Yeah. I think you can do that. Yeah, you can do like a fade in. Fade in. Here we go. And then fade out. Let's see how this sounds. Okay. That's a little better.
Yeah, I like that.
I can maybe even do it a little bit. All right, try again.
Okay. Now it's starting to sound like water or something.
It's popcorn. Is it popcorn or is it clapping?
It is popcorn. I tried to give away this popcorn maker we have outside, and it was out there for 5 days. And then I think the garbage man just came and said, "Oh, this must be for me," and then took it.
It's like, okay, that's funny.
Wow.
I had some fun bumpers for tonight's show.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we got to do? Oh, you mean in between? Like, not just Darth Vader say stuff?
Yeah. Let me just check. Let's see. There's that one and this one. These are...
Andy Go ahead.
What's that?
Andy Baldwin says, we have plenty of doctors, but we don't have enough Senti boards. Sente?
Senti. Yeah. Valley Senti. I think that's the proper deal, Dealy Bob.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Sneak previews. Two critics talking about, sometimes arguing about the latest movies in town. And this is Roger Ebert, the Pulitzer Prize-winning film critic of the Chicago Sun-Times.
Across the aisle from me is Gene Siskel, movie critic for the Chicago Tribune and CBS TV News in Chicago.
Do you remember this?
Was that the theme?
For the original sneak previews.
Yeah, when it was on PBS.
Yeah, exactly. It's a terrible theme.
It is gross.
It sounds like one I would make.
This is as good as it gets in Chicago.
Call me foolish, call me irresponsible. It occurs to me that a 500 megaton bomb planted at just the proper point would destroy most of California. Millions of innocent people would be killed. And the West Coast as we know it would fall into the sea.
Superman.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Bye, California. Hello, New West Coast.
What is this? Otisburg? You know, it's funny.
It's
I
small town.
play the Arkham series on the PC with the Batman games. They're fantastic, by the way. They're just fantastic. And anyway, you go from city to city, and one of the cities is Otisburg, which is funny.
I love it.
In one of the games, I don't remember
He
which
got his
one.
way. I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike lately.
Yeah.
I'm getting used to killing people. So
Counter-Strike, huh?
yeah, what's funny is that I don't have like a headset with a headphone, microphone jack on it.
Sure.
I have to like push down on, I forget what button it is to speak, so I don't usually do it.
Yeah.
But like the last time I played, there were so many people who hated all the other people. Like I just had to join in, and it was so good.
That's funny.
Got to record that somehow.
Yeah. By the way, we're having a little technical difficulty with Billy Seven, who is going to be joining us as the guest host tonight.
Right.
Unfortunately, Brian Armitage will not be here tonight, so we apologize in advance. But maybe we just need a break from Brian.
Sure, and we can like watch his apartment for him while he's gone. Which, I mean, technically, that's not his apartment in this video that you could see, but
Right.
it's a photo. But Billy Seven will talk about that photo when he shows up.
Right. Yes. That's
Yes.
the plan. And we're sticking to it.
Then maybe he can tell us about, the Tupperware containers behind the machine, and then no, not at all. Okay.
You know, it's funny. I really like the At the Movies theme better than the sneak previews theme.
I'll need a refresher.
Oh,
Do you have those handy?
well, those I did because I'd planned to play them right about now. But
Right.
the At the Movies theme is a little different. Here's the 1985 theme. If I
Okay.
can play it see if I can play without ads. Here we go. Do you remember this at all?
Yeah, they're like walking outside the street, and they're like doing stuff like like this or something.
Yeah, they have like a briefcase and they're getting their own. Yeah, Ebert pulls like a reporter's notes book out of the vending machine, and then they go up to their private balcony.
And it's got like a rope so that you can't get in there.
Yep, exactly. We don't need to hear it again, but I'm sure that's low enough fidelity that anyone who might have copyright to that song won't bother us.
Like, forget it. Not even good.
That is some craptacular. Yeah. Well, let's
If you
do.
thought that was bad, I have. Wait till what's in the juke, because I got craptacular on top of craptacular.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's try
on the
this.
road?
What's that?
We're gonna get the show on the road. I was trying to like
Oh yeah,
guess your next move.
on the road. I think we're on the.
From KOYR Studios in Minneapolis, Minnesota, this is Arcade Radio.
Beware, I live. Run.
You survived.
Hello and welcome to Season 5, Episode 4 of the Arcade Radio Podcast. Thanks for listening in out there in the Arcadosphere. Today is Thursday, December 7th.
I can't fix it. What happened?
I don't know, but it's gone now. 2020, the
fixed it.
time is now approximately 7:25 p.m. Central. I'm your host, Adam Sushi Choo Choo, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mark, Project 85 Shields, and Paradise Arcade Shop proprietor and Disney parking lot attendant Brian Thurston Howell Armitage III will not be with us tonight as he is operating on somebody as we speak. But joining us tonight as guest host is none other than Pinball Arcade and Moldorama aficionado. That's right. It's friend of the show, Mr. Billy Seven. Welcome to the show.
Yo, what up?
You can take off your mask now.
Yeah, I think I should, but it's kind of cool here.
It's kind of comfy.
What does it
How
say?
do I get back to the screen with the dudes on it like you guys?
Well, we just open up the live show and on YouTube you can see us.
Yeah, but that's delayed. I'm in the chat now. How do I get rid of the chat?
The real time. Oh, let's see here. Which one of my icons is Skype? But first you can click the X to close the chat.
Click the X to close the chat.
And then the top right-hand corner,
Yeah.
pick grid view. It's the one with the little square thing, not the add a person thing. Don't add anybody.
Is everybody following along? Is this Skype, by the way?
That's not the screen I have. Oh crap! I'm sorry, guys. This is.
We can see you. You look fine.
You look great.
Yeah.
Love
I'm sweating, man. All this work to get ready for this, and
Well, just, I'm telling you, put on OBS. You don't really need to see us talking.
all right.
You can just hear us. That's fine.
Well,
or you can mute while you figure it out.
Oh, good point. And actually, I need to get my my beverage here, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Be gone with you.
All right, hang on
We'll
one second.
just start talking
I don't
about
even
what
know
we've
where
been
to-
working
I don't know
on.
where to mute it because I don't got that screen on.
It doesn't
Got
matter. There's
ongoing
nobody there
calls.
going to say anything unless you do. So.
Okay, good point.
Okay.
Thank you.
So anyway, welcome to the show, peoples, and thanks for joining us. This is the sneak preview episode of the show. So right off the bat, I'm going to list our two guests that are coming up on, and we'll mention them a couple more times during the show. But everybody probably remembers Howard Scott Warshaw was our season finale of last year's season, which is great. We love him. He was writing a book at the time and said that he'd love to come back on the show once he completed it, which he has. So look forward to Howard Scott Warshaw next Wednesday, the 23rd, right before Christmas. Then we're going to have a little break, and we're going to come back in 2 weeks on our normal time at 7:15 p.m. Central, Thursday on January 7th. And our special guest that night is going to be Suzanne Ciani. And so,
For real?
For real.
Yeah.
Oh yeah!
So for those of you who don't know who Suzanne Ciani is, she is a pioneer in the synthesizer world and composer of many bumpers and soundtracks over the years, and has her own category of music in New Age, and she has been composing and writing music forever. She was along for the entire ride of the birth of the synthesizer. In fact, one of the main synthesizers, which we'll probably talk about on the show, was invented by her mentor. And so it wasn't Moog, but there, it's an early synthesizer. You're gonna recognize the name when we talk about it. Also, she may be more familiar to our audience as the person who designed all of the sound effects and sound samples for the 1979-1980 pinball machine Xenon by Bally Midway. So all of those uhs and uhs and things that you're hearing, that's her. She's going to be on the show, and we're super excited to have her on. So look forward to that on January 7th, and we'll talk about that again and bring it up for people that aren't necessarily listening right now. So again, thanks for listening to the show. Mark, what have you been working on, dear sir?
Well, let me go through my little list. I finally finished this Back to the Future fan remake that we took the entire Back to the Future 1 movie, chopped it up into like 69 bits, and then I believe that's the exact number. It may be 66, but I like to say 69. And, distributed it. It took a half a year. because people kept like not turning in their scenes. One particular guy like didn't do 9 scenes or 8 scenes or something. So I was worried they were not going to finish. So I took all of those remaining scenes, did a lot of them, found some other people to help me. And it goes live Saturday at, I think, maybe 11 a.m. Pacific. So what's that work out to? 1 p.m. Central on YouTube. Project
Cool.
85.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Saturday at 1 p.m.
What's
if you just
Project
go to YouTube.
99?
So Project 99 is just starting to get kicked off. That is the fan remake of Back to the Future Part 3.
Interesting.
When the DeLorean vanishes at the end of the second movie, you see these like 99s backwards and flames in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still going to try to come up with like a cute name for it. I don't know which one we're going to pick. The one I like the best is Back to the Future, make like a 3 and get out of here.
That's awesome.
I know, right? I love that one. I'm going to vote make like a 3 and get out of here.
That's funny. As a matter of fact, yesterday I watched Back to the Future in its entirety.
Oh, so good.
I haven't seen it in ages, and actually, I dug it out because I had digital copies that came with the Blu-ray, and I was watching them, and they were horrible. They were just they were terrible quality. I couldn't figure out why. So I have this Blu-ray set. Can you see this?
Yeah. That just came out, right?
No, this is the 25th anniversary.
Oh, okay.
I think this came out in 2015. So it's been out for a while, but it came with digital download codes. So I put them in years ago on iTunes. And as a result, they're in SD because at the time, I don't think they were doing HD movies.
I don't think so either. And I think I have the exact ones.
Most of the devices probably couldn't stream that anyway. That you were using them digitally.
Well, they weren't even streaming. These were downloaded. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the devices you'd have back then that those would play on.
Right. I mean, that was only 5 years ago, but
ancient history.
Yeah.
Well, that is, by the time you buy a computer, it's already outdated.
Yeah, I mean, but is that your bone crusher or something? That might need to be turned off.
That sounds kind of cool.
That was Freddie. I should go turn it off.
But the long and the short of it is, I bought this because, well, I sent an email to the company because I'm like, hey, I bought these on Blu-ray. Why would I want an SD copy? So we'll see if they're gonna renew my codes and let me redo it. I doubt it. There is a new version out. I have a couple questions for you on this, Mark.
Okay, go for it.
First of all, what is the name of the photomat that gets destroyed by the Libyans in the movie?
It has a different name besides Photomat on it or something, or?
Well, it's got a fox on it, and I couldn't read it in the SD version when I was watching it digitally.
Oh, I thought the symbol for Photomat was a fox jumping like over a box or something.
No, Photomat just said Photomat back in the day. So that's like
Fox
some
Photo.
Yeah, I don't know what it is exactly. So there's a trivia question for you. And then the other question I had was this ever shot in 2.35 to 1?
Oh, holy crap. Yeah. It's funny. I know the cinematographer, Dean Cundy. I got to hang out with him for a whole week.
Really?
And we're friends with him and his wife. It's the weirdest thing, dude.
Yeah?
But I'll have to ask him.
Yeah, because I believe that this movie deserves a 2.35 to 1 transfer. Why wouldn't they have shot it in CinemaScope?
Well, they just rescanned it, and there's a 4K release that came out literally months ago.
Right, but is it 2.35 to 1? That's what I want to know. Because this is 1.85 or 16 by 9, and it's okay. I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, it's a Blu-ray. It's 1080p, but it's not 4K. And actually, I don't. The more they make these movies high def, the less I'm interested in seeing the makeup on people, because like you can literally see the seams and like where they implanted hair on the bald wigs on people. It's getting bad.
It was not good in 1985. Looks like the aspect ratio is 1.85 to 1.
Okay, so that may be the de facto that may have been what they shot it in, what Zemeckis shot it in. But I would be interested in knowing if they had a 2.35 to 1 print anywhere. CinemaScope. Star Wars was shot, in 1977. So,
Well, I would love to get an original 35 millimeter film and show it without the gate, and see all of the boom mics and the lights and the fun stuff that you never get to see.
that'd be fun. Yeah.
Because that's all on there.
It's interesting because I was watching the film and I was being reminded of certain pieces of it. And it was super fun. And it's so clever. It really is clever from beginning to end. There's little bits of dialogue that are going to be reused later on. And it was just, they were all delivered, perfectly. It's, a lot of people consider this one of the perfect films.
Right.
And I think in many ways it is, but it was really, really fun to watch it. And I kept thinking, Mark must have this entire movie memorized.
Oh, I thought that too. And then I had to I had to do the scene where Doc is like, I painted a line way over there. That's where you'll start from. And I've calculated the precise distance, and then I cannot remember. That was a very complicated set of dialogue. So,
and I almost got into an eBay rabbit hole too, because I wanted to find the little red wind-up Cadillac that he used in the demo for.
You can buy them. They sell them. They're like pink, the exact model. You just have to paint it red.
Okay, interesting. It's really cool.
Yes.
So yeah, there's just so many little things in that movie that are so fun, and wow, the performances are really, really remarkable, and they hold up so well. You watch Star Wars. And Mark Hamill, he is no Michael J. Fox.
No, Michael J. Fox, great actor.
The only when you're watching it, there's not a moment in time you don't believe that he's Marty McFly. He's a teenager,
Right.
And his delivery
25-year-old teenager.
Yeah, exactly. 25-year-old. That's why he was good. It's because he knew.
Stuff under his belt.
Yeah.
Hamill had Corvette Summer.
You have to get a little closer to the mic. Can't hear you. So,
What's his toes had some acting
Luke.
under his belt already, whereas Hamill only had Corvette Summer.
Corvette Summer was actually after Star Wars.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Is that the one with Annie Potts?
Annie Potts. Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've only seen the intro to that. I would love to see the whole thing. We should have a watch party.
That'd be great. We should do it.
Yes,
we should,
the happy hour.
Yeah, except for we'd have to be a little more discreet. We'd have to use Discord or something.
Before we get into the naughtiness that happened, my daughter came out and wants to say hi real quick.
Okay.
Hello.
This is Lily, everyone. What's your favorite game?
My favorite game is probably Red Zone.
Red Zone. Tell us a little bit about Red Zone.
Nice.
So,
What's your favorite prize out of Red Zone? That's a lot.
Jacks.
Oh, she won a set of jacks a while back. How cool is that? In this time of age, kids still want to play jacks, huh?
I love
Yeah.
it.
If you knew how. I don't even know how to play jacks.
Well, I had to look up the instructions on the internet.
I think you bounce the ball and you take one, and then you have to take two or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, okay, so what's your favorite pinball? She's thinking. No answer?
Pinball.
She'll think about it.
Okay.
Right. Okay, no problem.
All right. Anyway, so thanks for coming by, man.
Okay.
And thanks. She let me use her computer tonight. That's what.
That's
took so long.
awesome. You're the best. You're the
We'll
best.
do some homework for you.
Yeah. Hey, we'll do some homework.
We'll do your homework.
We won't do it.
It'll all be wrong. You'll have to redo everything. Oh, adults.
Have a good night.
We don't know anything. So, I don't know if we had more to add there. You bought a Tron Cabaret from Coin Op Warehouse?
I did, and let's see, a couple gumball machines and a Zaxxon instruction, like a Zaxxon manual with the little awards that you give to people for high scores.
Oh,
Still in the bag.
I've never seen that.
apparently Peter from Rent My Arcade was going to buy it for you, Adam, and I swooped in at the, just before he got it.
He was joking, but yeah.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Ah.
because I can't stand Zaxxon.
You love Zax.
Did you guys see the sit down one on?
Yeah,
I did.
I
The
floated
forums?
that around myself because that was really cool. I actually have never seen that until that woman posted it. Someone must have bought it.
Right.
And $900, I think, was a fair price, considering.
I mean, is it real? Like, what is it like from someplace else or?
No, it's probably a Japanese.
One of the posters, one of the more well-known posters, I think it was on the forums then, pointed out that the serial tag might not have been period to what that would have been produced, but on the inside though, they had a fun center or something. They had their asset tag,
Sure.
and it said Zaxxon Sit Down SD or something like that. So and it looked old. So
Yeah.
who would have made a sit down like that back then?
Sega.
Somebody that liked to sit down a lot? Or...
Right, but I mean, like nowadays, like that, what is it, the Battle Zone sit down, or there's some big hulking thing someone made a sit down of.
Yeah.
I could see that, but back then, no one would have done that. I don't think.
You mean, like, I'm confused. What do you mean? Do you think somebody faked it?
No, I think Sega made it, but there was discussion whether it was legit or not because of the serial tag and some other stuff.
Oh, I think it was. I think that people just don't like to be like, learning something new in 2020. They want to know it all.
I agree. I love learning stuff. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We're still doing archaeology, and it's not even, all that old yet.
Yeah. We're not all dead yet.
Yikes.
Like Ready Player One, I don't know that people will have quite the interest that Ready Player One has for that small genre, but I still think by that point there'll be interest, but I don't know. They're cool toys. It's not like something of a period where a 57 Chevy is a 57 Chevy. Whereas the games, you can get a game, an older game, a newer game, and they're still cool. They're interesting. There's young kids, young guys locally that are, finding Pac-Mans and digging them out and selling them,
Or putting them on YouTube and destroying them.
Well, cutting them in half.
That's a different issue.
Did you see that one where the guy totally destroyed a Pac-Man? And
Yeah,
they
it was a nice
smashed the monitor. I know, it was awful. I think we talked about that 4 years ago. One of the other things that's really interesting that you just mentioned, Billy, was Ready Player One. Ready Player 2 came out. The book. Yes. And I guess the audiobook is out as well. So
who reads the audiobook?
Oh, Will Wheaton, I think, reads the audiobook.
Samuel Jackson?
He does.
Oh, no, but Will Wheaton, Wesley Crusher from Star Trek The Next Generation.
He really did.
He does, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he's any good.
I have the audiobook from part one. I actually really enjoyed it, but the problem is in the book, they show you the scores at the beginning of every chapter after a certain point, and he reads them sort of in a robotic manner, and I'm like, oh god, just get past the stupid scoreboard so that you can start talking like a normal person again.
It's
and my wife's like, who are you talking to? And
you'd think Simon and Schuster would give a speak and spell voice or something to that part.
Oh, that would be awesome. Oh man, I gotta get my speak and spell going.
Yeah, I'm having fun with I have a speak and spell with several cartridges. So, Billy, you're filling in for Brian, believe it or not. Brian had to actually go on call. My plan was to have 4 people on tonight, and now we're down to 3 again. So you got big, and it seems
I can go knock on my neighbor's door and see if he wants to join us.
Now, here's a funny thing. The last time you were on the show was to fill in for Brian. And I'm starting to wonder if you're not
down to the shop.
If you're not the same person.
What was that?
Superman, Clark Kent. I mean,
yeah. Are you sure you're not Brian
Superman,
in disguise?
Clark Kent, Superman, Clark Kent.
Oh man, it's my brother called me at work today, and I answered, and he goes, "Did I wake you?" I said, "No." He goes, I don't think I've ever called you at work and you've ever been that calm before. And so that's what working at Paradise Arcade Shop does compared to working at such other places. But I didn't get your message, even though my phone's near me, till late. And then, as I mentioned, on my way home, and my wife called me and said there's a Target order to pick up and stop at Walgreens. And so I was sweating getting this computer set up, I tell you what. And then I wanted to be back there because you were asking me about what I was doing. And I wanted to show you what I was doing.
Okay.
But I don't get no internet back there. I don't have mesh. So,
all right.
And then I logged into the wrong Skype account. And then it said I had nefarious dealings. And so I had to I'm sorry, dude, man. It was just like...
you were right on time. In fact, I hit the start button and I saw your face pop up right before it. So it was perfect. But so what are you working on? What's in the back that we can't see?
So besides hauling that Interstellar in this morning into the shop,
yes,
cool. I have to admit, not only have I not ever played it, I've never even seen one. Oop.
Well, then it couldn't have existed. Somebody probably made it.
Can you hear Flipper Football?
Can I?
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Wow.
Good God. It just doesn't shut up either. That guy sounds like a dink. I was going to say
give me your
else.
quarter.
I'm going to use dink.
This is, it's almost done.
You could just talk over it because we can't really hear what he's saying anyway.
Yeah, it's a little muffled.
It's actually, and it's super boring for the audience to hear like, you don't,
because I thought for sure he cursed.
Well, that's
Probably
the thing.
did.
I was gonna sit back there because of what I'm working on, and I turned the adult mode on, which is the first pinball machine to really, honestly say the F word amongst other things. and when you've turned it on, it's been about 20 minutes. He just goes into this fairly profane tirade for about 15 seconds.
That's awesome.
And I think it's funny, but every once in a while, I'll have been out here having cocktails, and then I'll bring the kid out or something. Turn the game on, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, and I got to run over there and shut it down. But anywho, so I have some whitewood pinball playfields. And if you're a pinball enthusiast, now, when I obtained these over 20 years ago, it wasn't a cool thing. And a lot of people are like, what's that? So a quick backstory. I think I might have told it before, but one of my friends called me, and predating cellular calls, and said, hey, have you been to Axeman and Fridley lately? And I'm like, no, why? And he said, well, I think they got a whitewood playfield. I only had a few friends at the time that would have known this. And if you grew up around here and you know Axeman, it's electronics and other...
oddities.
Yeah, it's salvage from like big warehouses, and they have everything. Does anybody remember Burger King with the piccolo whistles?
Yeah,
the pickle whistle. When I was a kid, they had freaking like 3 or 4 55-gallon drums full of those things.
Yeah,
and I still have one of them.
Do you remember the 55-gallon drum full of Jabba the Hutt heads?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, because what they did is they had like some kind of little thing that spun, and you'd put your spices in it. And it was kind of like if you ever had a lettuce spinner where you spin your water out of it.
Yep.
It's kind of like that, but mounted vertically, and you'd spin your spices.
Yeah.
Well, they had little, pardon me, I didn't want to air that. They had little Empire Strikes Back. They were kind of like a Micro Machine size action figures from the movie.
Sure.
And they made some torture chamber out of it, and they had Jabba the Hutt HUDs, and it was spinning, and the guys were in there. And that's cool that you mentioned that, because this ties into what it is. They would build things out of what they had.
Sure.
So I'm kind of thinking, they got some coils, and somebody liked pinball, so they built the whitewood. So, I was like, whatever. It's probably not real. So I kind of blew it off. Sorry, Paul. And less than a week later, he calls me up, and it was like a Friday, and he goes, hey, did you ever go look at that playfield? I'm like, no. He goes, well, I'm at the downtown, or well, again, no cell, so he called me. He goes, I was at the downtown St. Paul store today, which is the original, and still there. And so he says, he goes, well, I think I was looking at the Waterworld Whitewood for the movie, the Kevin Costner movie from Gottlieb. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, it's like complete. There's flippers and everything on it. I know it is. So I'm like, no way. He goes, yeah. So I get my car, and I may or may not have sped. Billy Seven does not condone speeding. And got there, and they close at like 5. And I got there, and they're locking the doors. Go down the next morning and get there, walk in, and up on a shelf, kind of those end caps, you go to the hardware store, here's the Waterworld Whitewood. And, it's up high. And then there was a Stargate Whitewood. And I'm like, oh, those are awesome games. And I really liked Waterworld. So they're $75 a piece. And I'm like, I didn't have a lot of cash at that time. So I'm like, I'll take the Waterworld. And I'm like, do you have any more? And they're like, I think so. So they make a phone call. And they call whatever. And it's a warehouse thing. And they're like, yeah, we do. And I'm like, cool. Can I go pick from them? So they call back. And they're like, no. If you buy this one, they'll bring another one in, and if you buy that one. So I was kind of like, oh, how many? So they call again. They're getting irritated. So he said, we got like 7 of them. And I'm like, well, what if I buy them all? Can I do that? Can I get a better price? And like, no, but you can buy them all. So using my credit card, which I shouldn't have done, I bought all these things. And I went down after they brought them in, and they had a partially built shack, brand new, mint. Just partially built, and it was funny, it had a big red tag. It said "See Dave" on it. And there was a prototype shack playfield, which was really cool because the plastics, somebody had hand colored with watercolor all the playfield plastics.
Oh, interesting.
So they had done the artist done the art, cut the art out, and taped them to clear plastics. And there was something else. I'm dragging this out. So anyway, I ended up getting the Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street Whitewood, the Waterworld Whitewood, and the Frank Thomas Big Hurt Whitewood. And they're fairly complete. And, I mean, this was a year after, not even a year after they closed. So when Gottlieb Premier closed, they auctioned off the assets in September, and Pinball Expo was a month later, so I couldn't do both. Anyway, so actually went out there, they bought these, and so I ended up with these Whitewoods, and my goal was to put them in cabinets and restore them. I did Freddy right away, and I've already belabored this too much, but in recent years I've gotten other cabinets, and I've put in the Waterworld and the Frank Thomas, and I was just finishing up Frank Thomas this past week with boards and such. And I also have a production Waterworld. So you can play the Waterworld Whitewood, which is a playfield with no artwork on it. Sharpies written in where there's like extra ball, this and that. And the Waterworld Whitewood has drop targets on it that were not in the final one. So there's very unique information and things that are happening and notes. And, this has been about 45 minutes. Sorry.
That's cool.
Quit apologizing and just continue on with your story.
For me, it's cool. I talked to one of the designers of them, Ray Tanzer, and he's like, oh, really? And so my goal is to have all 3 of them working, bring them out to the Gaming Classic and/or Pinball Expo.
Sweet.
And then hopefully have somebody bring a production one of each one, and we'll line them all up, and you can play them.
That'd be cool. So the one thing that we skipped over is what actually is a whitewater. What is it? What is it?
Oh, so when they're designing a pinball machine, usually they had some type of infrastructure in-house to produce a routed playfield. And back in the day, they would work from a point at the top of the playfield when they would draw it out, and everything was referenced off that top point.
Sure.
And they would hand draw out playfields. So if you're lucky to find old pencil drawings, it's 1-to-1. You know, there's different levels of blueprints. Well, they were 1-to-1. So they would produce a piece of plywood, and they would cut holes in it, and they would screw posts. And as it would progress, they might put light lenses in and do things. So there was many iterations of a whitewood.
So literally, it is just a blank white wood playfield used for designing the game, and somehow you ended up with 7 of them.
No, I ended up with 3 of them. The other
Oh.
ones were prototype early stages. And again, I know I'm dragging this out. So basically, it's the great granddaddy of all of the production playfield games. So it's the last iteration before they produce ones with artwork on, and then that's
Sure.
what's a prototype.
Cool.
And real quick, what's interesting, I got those over 20 years ago. My friend Brad
Yeah.
Holman, who's on the chat here, and I'm sorry,
Brad!
Red.
he this past summer, he calls me up and he goes, I got something to show you. Can I stop by on my way home? I'm like, yeah, bring your mask. He's like, okay. Maybe it was 2 summers ago. I'm sorry, Brad. So he stops by and he pulls out a Whitewater Whitewood. And it's literally the iteration before the one I have.
Interesting.
So his is the second to last. Mine is the last.
Huh.
And his has features mine doesn't have.
That's kind of cool.
And to that point, real quick, I guess Axeman had gotten, I think, somewhere less than 20, because Todd Anderson, Barcade, what was the touring museum exhibit? Videotopia. He had a few too, because I called around to the other ones. Oh, and I followed up on that one at Fridley. It was a Rescue 911, and it was an early iteration. It was missing a lot of parts. And I said, can I pay less money? And they're like, no. And it ended up being marked up to $200. So I never did buy it. So there were other ones locally. And again, it was really cool how Brad got his. And I have photos. I need to upload them to the Internet Pinball Database. But maybe we can get that one going and have them.
Yeah, and start a
I
thread
need to
on
stop talking.
Pinside too. No, you don't need to stop talking. This is the show tonight. We're just talking arcade stuff. So that's awesome. I'm super excited to see those. I'm sad you couldn't be right next to them to show us, but that's fine. We'll see them. You can put them up on Pinside or Internet Pinball Database or wherever, Facebook groups, and post them on Arcade Radio.
Yeah.
Give somebody
Totally.
give you somebody to, we'll give you an admin account. You can post whatever you want there. So within reason. So I have been working on a couple of things. I posted just after the show last time my Nintendo room. Did you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I finished one of the rooms in my house with the arcade moving stuff around. I recapped Donkey Kong Jr. video board because it was causing some bounce in the external monitor. So, because those monitors somehow, it's interesting the way that they design those Donkey Kong boards, because you have the soundboard on the monitor, and then you have video controls on the monitor, but you also have video controls on the board, which is like Star Wars and some of the other Tempest, I think, has XY controls, and so it's just interesting to me that those controls are on the actual board. They knew they might have issues with that, so they added vertical and horizontal controls so that you could change the. So it's just every once in a while you need to change those potentiometers and those caps. After 30 years of use, they don't work that great. So I did that, and then I've been battling with my Row AMI MM1 amplifier, and I'm not going to go into it, but let's just say it's one of those things where you go in, you do one thing, it gets better. You go in, you do another thing, and it gets worse. And it gets worse than it was the time before you fix the other thing. So now it's just like I'm beating my head against the wall. I'm so angry at this amplifier, and it's one of those defeating things where I'm just like, I'm done with this hobby. Done with it.
Is that the one that's downstairs?
No, that one works great. I bought a Row AMI jukebox a few years ago. It was owned by a local drag race champion here, and he bought it in '85. And I think the last time it was serviced was in '89. So, but I'm at the point now where I may end up replacing the amplifier for the MM1 with an MM2 amplifier, which is a tube amplifier, if it can be retrofitted, because it's just junk. It's Row AMI's first solid state amplifier, and they made a lot of mistakes, and it was not production ready, and it is notorious. It's dreaded. Nobody wants to work on it. If you talk to any reputable jukebox repair person, they will not want to work on that amp.
It's like the Moonwalker of jukeboxes.
It's terrible. So it's been the
So
bane.
it's this thing?
Yeah, that's one model. Mine is the carousel model, if you look that one up. Anyway, I've shown pictures of it before.
Oh, yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful unit. It looks fantastic, but it's just right now it's a heaping pile of junk. So that is, I'm still trying to get it working. I'm hopeful, and I ordered a few new parts for it. So and I have a cap kit for the preamp. So we'll see. And then the other thing that I've been working on is Xenon. I'm having a problem with the exit on that, and so I've got a couple of things I want to try on that, but there's a 0.05 microfarad ceramic capacitor that is responsible for one of the switches that ejects the ball when it goes into the chute for the ball capture, and there's a little saucer there that it hits. There's actually two switches in that tunnel. The first switch, you're all familiar with Xenon, right? So when you play that, the music amps up. It gets really fast. It's kind of like Space Invaders in that it starts out like dun 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 dun, and it goes and but it's designed to freak the player out. It's simply designed to mess with your head. And so if you can make the tube shot, you can reset the music, because the first switch it hits going into the exit chamber is to reset the sound. So if it hits that, it turns off the sound. And then when it hits the other one, it turns on the sound, and then it's supposed to boot the ball out. And it's not doing that. So it just sits in there and does nothing. And it dun, 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 dun.
So bad switch, or?
Well, I thought it was a bad switch. I cleaned the switch, and I had it working for a while, and then it wasn't working. And I'd look at the gap, and the gap's still there. So I did some research, and there was a similar problem. There's a little 0.05 ceramic capacitor in there that's responsible for kicking it out. I was going to order those. They're impossible to find. And so I ordered some from Mouser that were 0.05 microfarad, but they were 500 volt. And the original is 12 volt. So the 12 volt original one is like the size of an eraser head, right? Like just a tiny little circle. And the 500 volt one is like a size of a dime. I know you can switch out voltages, and the microfarad should not matter. So if you have the same rating for the microfarad, in other words, that should work. But when you go from 12 volt to 500 volt, I don't know if it's going to behave the same. It might actually cause new problems. So I haven't put it in. I was just going to see if I could find another part. Billy, you said you might have or you were kind of waving your hands.
Well, I can help you with the problem.
Yeah.
Suss it out after later in the week or over the phone. But some things to check too, which on those Bally's and with those capacitors and the diodes and such, what can happen is if the playfield falls or they can get bent, and in the switch matrix, you can actually short out switches prior to it, so it's not recognizing that switch. There's another switch that's theoretically closed before that. Sometimes too, if you go into your switch, they didn't call it switch edges back then. It was just whatever switch was closed. What I do just when I'm done working on a game and I've adjusted everything, I'll sit there and I'll just bang on that play field in the center and see if I can trigger anything as well, or in real time in the game, because a lot of times you'll get those little switches in between the rubber that are just like 10 point, 100 points, 1,000 points, whatever they are. Same thing there. After cleaning it, and they're hard to get to it and adjust. Some of them are just right on that edge. So banging on that play field, even in play, you'll count points up and you can find it.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, I don't think banging on the play field in this case is going to work, but I do know.
But if you have switches that are closed, or right on that edge, and they're precluding your saucer switch.
Yeah. No, I think there's only one switch ahead of it, and it's the only problem in the game. So when that sound switch gets hit, that's when nothing works. So we can talk about it offline and I'll call you up. We can see if we can replicate. I can take some video and we can see if we can work it out. Or you can mask up and come over here. I haven't seen you in ages, so that'd be fun too.
Heck yeah. To borrow from my friend Kip,
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting social distancing fatigue.
Yeah, me too.
And it's not just because I miss cavorting with all you guys,
Yeah.
but, and again, I think I mentioned this earlier, Billy 7 does not condone or suggest you speed, but what is it with people lately driving in the leftist lane at the speed limit or slower, regardless if there's other cars around you?
I have a friend, Kathy Schlegel, who would love to talk to you at nauseum about how people should not be in that lane unless they're going well over the speed limit, which I think is just okay. We all, you know what? They did say that accidents were up because of COVID when we had all the.
They're driving crazier.
Yeah, people are driving nuts, and
well, you got those that want to go fast, and you got those that are just kind of like.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like use a little effort.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just people are crazy, and they're getting crazier. It's just happening, right in front of us.
Well, yes. Let's talk about something else.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go grab it real quick.
All right.
But you can maybe
We can go to our little segments.
All right, let's do a segment.
Mr. Jones in our audience, Brian Jones.
I always felt that the true stars at Atari was engineering.
Oh, you're an inventor.
Yes, I am.
What have you invented?
A lot of things.
Like?
Like a lot of things. Like things that you've heard of.
Like?
Well, things that you will have heard of, okay? Patents are pending.
Arcade Gadgets with Brian McLeod.
Well, since Brian's not here, I'm going to fill in for him.
Nice.
He's got some gadgets. The first thing we're going to talk about is the Bit Kit. It was on sale for Black Friday. I bought another one. And I'm actually going to be sending my old one back to Aaron at the beginning of the year for its RAM upgrade, which will include more slots for both hardware platform and games. So if you have an older bid kit, you'll be able to send it in, and I think it's only $40, and he'll do all the work and send it back to you.
Sweet, and round. That's nice.
Yeah, and so he's adding a fourth platform, which you may have heard. Galaga was announced, which is why I bought another one, because I just love the Bluetooth element of it. I love being able to sit in the chair, next to the machine and not have to hook something up inside it. It's just wonderful. It's the best thing ever.
Is the Bluetooth always listening, waiting to be connected, or do you have to turn the machine on and then do it right away?
You turn it on, and I don't know if I doubt it's always on.
Wouldn't that be funny?
It could be. I didn't ask Aaron about that when he was on.
Yeah, I'll have to.
I was thinking of having him on the show again when Galaga's released, because that is a unique platform to the three other platforms that are supported. The other platforms are all sort of derivatives of one another. So he started with the Pac-Man platform, which allows for a lot of, bootleg games and extra mazes and things like that. But then from that, he was able to riff off into other platforms, because I guess like Sega stole their architecture for Pango and added things to it. So it's really interesting. So there's a bootleg version of Pango because they discovered that, essentially Sega was using PAC hardware, and so they were able to make that work. So anyway, there's 3 different platforms. There's currently 52 games supported, 50 to 52 games.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and that those aren't all unique. Some of those are duplicates. Like Zarzon has a couple of different distribution methods. Frogger, there was a bootleg, and then there's a Sega version. Pango, anyway, there's a bunch of different games it supports, and then and now it'll support Galaga, which is a completely unique platform. So that's kind of cool.
Is this BitKit?
Yep. Got this little guy right here. $129 Black Friday.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I think they're back up to $149, or they might still be on sale for the holidays. You can check it out. I bought mine from Mike's Arcade.com. They were available on Paradise Arcade Shop. Unfortunately, they listed it at the old price at $159, and they were out of stock. I don't know if that's true or not, but you could call and ask Susan or Brian to see if they're. I think Susan does all the orders and stuff. So, if you want to support Paradise Arcade Shop, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, it's Mike's Arcade and Arcade Shop, Steve Gregory. So, and of course, Mike Holland, who we had on the show, he's fantastic, just a great guy. I bought lots of things from him over the years, so it was purchase well worth it. And then the other thing that Brian wanted to mention was Barry Schulmover, who was also on the show, was doing multi-vectors. And I think you saw on the show, he showed us some of the cool, he has a multi-vector board that he's been working on. And that is being remade right now. And I think he's taking orders. So if you're interested, I don't know if it's the Cinevectron. Is it the Cinevectron?
I tried to write down what he said. Cinevectron OVG or something? I did write that down.
Okay, yeah. So Cinevectron, yep. So yes. Billy, what do you know about that?
The coolest thing is they have an unreleased game by, I'm going to forget who it is now, but QB3.
Oh.
And gosh darn it, I can't think. Because they do all the, they do like War of the Worlds and Castle, not Crystal Castles.
Star Castle.
Star Castle.
Yep.
Yes. And I think you can do Color War of the Worlds and the asteroids, and it's an FPGA. It's really cool. It does all these things, but they did this one game that wasn't finished. And if you played Katamari, on PlayStation and such,
Katamari Damacy.
Yeah, the character looks almost like that, and at one point he's going around the cube like that, and I was like, which would have been 20 years later, but it looks really, really cool. There's no audio done, and somebody in KLOV was talking about doing it, but it's a really cool looking piece. I think it's like 4 something though, so. And they'll work in asteroids. Asteroids are deluxe, both cabinets. You can just put them right in there.
That's awesome.
Cool.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I have an Asteroids Deluxe. That would be fun to put it in the cocktail. But I heard there's problems switching between the two. And I have high score saves in there with Lunar Lander and the 2 Asteroids games. So,
pretty decent high scores. Is it?
What's that?
Do you have fairly decent high scores?
I don't. I my first goal was to beat the scores that were on there already. Because the Atari scores are so, the top 3 were saved. And so there was a bit of a challenge, but I'm not, Asteroids is not a very high scoring game. It's not like Space Invaders bad, but it's pretty bad. Like, I don't know. What's a good score on Asteroids? Because I'm sure.
A million zillion. I don't know.
Mine probably sucks. Isn't that a marathon game though, if you can keep going?
That's what I hear.
I can't.
I just am more into jogging, so.
Yeah, I'm more into like limping. I've got like, I don't know, probably like 18,000 on Deluxe. I don't know. I don't remember. My high score is 2, CW Graham says. Yeah. Mr. Christopher Graham, welcome to the show. It's good to see all you guys in the chat, by the way. Thanks for hanging out with us. So, I don't know. Those are the 2 gadgets for tonight. And I just wanted to mention again.
Sneak previews, 2 critics talking about, sometimes arguing about the latest movies in town. And this is Roger Ebert, the Pulitzer Prize-winning film critic of the Chicago Sun-Times.
Across the aisle from me is Gene Siskel, movie critic for the Chicago Tribune and CBS TV News in Chicago.
Not a Pulitzer Prize winner.
No. Exactly. And he said that they say it every time. It must have been in Ebert's contract that he called him a Pulitzer Prize winner.
It's pretty crazy.
And apparently Ebert left the sneak preview show before Siskel because he was mad at they weren't following the contract. So
Rex Harrison filled in.
yeah, I don't even remember that. Wait, well, that was later, wasn't it? After when he got sick.
When Ebert got sick?
Yeah.
Harrison I remember was like in the 90s or something, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, first time he got throat cancer, and then he got it again, unfortunately, passed away. I mean, both those guys had terrible demises. Siskel had a brain tumor. So, good times. I love talking about that kind of stuff. Boy, I just saw like 6 people drop.
They're talking about dead people.
Not again.
It's not even talking about Counter-Strike. So sorry.
I like your shirt, Mark.
Oh, thank you. My bought on South Street in Philly.
I don't know what that is, but if you're Ben or Reed or Johnny or something underneath, that's cool.
I like to say I'm Johnny. Johnny.
Anyway, the sneak preview of this week is that we have 2 really great guests coming up next week on a special day, Wednesday, December 23rd. We have Howard Scott Warshaw returning to the show, the guy that invented Yar's Revenge and single-handedly destroyed the video game business with E.T.
Damn you, Howard Scott Warshaw. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, he was a great guest. It was really fun having him on, and he offered to come back on the show once he finished his book, which he did and was released last week. I bought a copy. It's available on Kindle and paperback right now, and he'll be on the show at 8 o'clock Central next Wednesday, a day before we normally do the show. So some people who can't listen to the show live, I think will be thrilled that they'll be able to listen on Wednesday. For you regular Thursday listeners, I will be putting up an early reminder for that. So when it comes up, hit the bell to subscribe to that episode and get reminded when it comes on and when it's about to go live. And then 2 weeks from then, we are thrilled to have on the show actually one of the most prominent women in the pinball industry back in the 1970s, 1980, with her sound effects for Xenon, but also a pioneer in synthesizer and new age music. Miss Suzanne Ciani will be joining us that night, January 7th. So please tune in for that. It's going to be super fun, and we'd love to have...
If you need a guest host that night, call me.
Definitely.
I actually had a chance to meet her a few years back.
Did you really?
Quite a few years. So, but I'm just saying she's
a class act,
and what she did, music and everything, and then the pinball, and she's just a wonderful, wonderful person to interact with.
Yeah.
You guys are on fire. Fire.
I mentioned earlier, too, that Dave Letterman, prior to having his late shows on NBC and CBS, actually had a daytime television show, and she was a guest. You can look it up on YouTube. It's fantastic. So,
well, the biggest thing is, if you didn't mention it earlier, was the crap. It was a science program.
Omni magazine. Yep.
And look that up. If you don't know who she is, but you want to see some cool old pinball stuff, that's very cool.
Peter Ustinov used to narrate that show, and famous English actor, and just he played Hercule Poirot for the Agatha Christie series on PBS and stuff. But he was also like the old guy in Logan's Run with all the cats. But awesome actor. Love him. That episode is I posted it on the Classic Arcade Preservation Society group on Facebook recently. So if you dig through that, if you're not a member of that group, it's a fantastic group. We try to document historical videos and documentation, objects, things that are related to arcades and the arcade culture that was, in the 70s and 80s, and even today to some degree, but mostly classic stuff. It is not a restoration group. It is not a buying or selling group, and but it is really fun to go in there because Gaines McDonald, who really curates most of the content for that Facebook group, has done a great job of putting those in. But anyway, I contributed the Suzanne Ciani video for that. She also did some work for Atari back in the day, so we'll be playing clips of that stuff on the show, and that should be a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to that. Not to slight Howard Scott Warshaw, because he's always a trip, I think, and he's stoked to come back on. He had a great time last time. So
it's such a great show.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
I think I want to do more shows where we branch into the video game console area. So that should be a lot of fun.
Hey, a quick question.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the Preservation Society and such, and one of the things that's always interested me is I like when I get games and they have old tags on them.
Yeah.
You know, whether they're licensed and stuff. And years and years ago, when I was very young and I did this, I would remove the tags from the game.
Sure.
But I saved them. I put them in a notebook.
Oh, cool.
And nowadays, I tend to leave them on. But that was really the only thing I change on them. I love keeping them original. You all heard that.
Sure. Yeah.
But one of the things I was thinking the other day, being at the shop and seeing so many games lately, I was wondering if there's an interest in starting a Facebook page of just posting, you know, if you have a marquee laying around, or if you have a game, or you're out in location, just the tags, all those
You know, I think the Classic Arcade Preservation Society group would be perfect for that.
Like an album or something.
Yeah,
just
and actually there's a spot where you can upload to a specific album if you want. You should try.
Yeah.
You should go on there and just post them, and we'll help you organize them, and put them into an album on the site. You can even become an admin if you wanted to.
Yeah, and if other people can, even from across the country, I like some of them are unique.
Yeah.
Some are unique names, but just seeing ones where, you know, like one of the ones that we probably all know are like, you know, AAA, Summit, Tyson. Those were big ones. They were everywhere. Now you don't see them anymore.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing that's interesting too is, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like a lot of the games you open up and it'll have a repair tag on the board of who repaired it.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of them say El Dorado Games. But
swapped out at El Dorado.
Exactly. Now they do good work. Oh but it is true.
Yes.
Swapped out
This
at
isn't my board. What?
It was funny. I was going to have a board worked on by them, and I actually marked it with a marker, but I ended up fixing it on my own. So, what I was going to say, there used to be a place on the East Coast, Bally Northeast. There used to be some repair center there, and so there's a lot of boards that will say Bally NE. There's a little silver sticker on them. I mean, whether it's an Atari or a Konami or a Namco or whatever, Sega, it doesn't matter. It'll have a Bally NE sticker on, which is really interesting. So they must have had a repair shop that handled a lot of that stuff back in the day.
Any of that stuff, or to that point too,
Mm-hmm.
like when I open up games and I repair them, especially when I do cabinet repairs. Again, mentioning that I don't redo them to look new, but when I tear into a cabinet, I'm literally removing boards and pieces and putting my own little furring strips in. I love seeing the initials, the signatures. Sometimes you even see words written in there. You know, there's all these, like, somebody worked at Atari in 1976 or maybe even 74 at the roller rink, and they might have been, and then they put their this. And who would have thought? Somebody, Andrew Webb, the guy that does all the repair on KLOV, the board repair.
Yep.
He pulled an Atari game apart like a tank or something. This was like the past half a year. There was like 70s hippie flower shelf paper on the bottom of it. Shelf paper, not even like the wood grain or some of the extra cabinet art cut up, but it was like shelf paper under a TV, like in the Pong or something. It was awesome. It was great.
That's great. So anyway, look for those two next guests, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with that.
It's the Arcade News with Adam Stevens.
Yeah, that's me, and this is the part of the show where we do some news. So, how is this possible, department? From BayNews9.com. They have a little article here that's about an arcade factory races to meet a holiday demand. So, What? Tiger Shark? Inside a warehouse off of I-275, employees at the Doc and Pie's arcade factory are working faster than Santa's elves. Doc and Pies build and sell retro arcade games from scratch.
What?
Completely from scratch. That means they use flour and eggs and sugar,
Yeah.
and they mix it all
Salt.
up. So they
And they make their own games and put them in and stuff like that?
yeah, they sprinkle a little,
Little...
a little Sega here, a little Namco there,
Uh-huh.
a little Atari,
Smell
a
like
little
a smoky old Shakey's or Pizza Hut.
Yep. Topped with Nintendo. Yeah. The company hired local workers who were furloughed due to the pandemic. So that's kind of cool. And they said Christmas has been out of control. We are slammed. God, that guy.
I think that guy's slammed too.
Yeah, he's completely drunk. She says we're working 7 days a week, pretty much 12 hours a day to try and meet the demand. We're hoping shipping companies will be able to help us out, but it's definitely a challenge this time of year to try and get as many out as we can. And I don't know if you guys have had the same experience, but I think a lot of people are turning to the inside of their homes and their arcades. I mean, Billy, you cleaned up your freaking arcade.
Yeah, one of my friends posted when this project is a little insane, but when I started, I told the builder, I'm like, yeah, I'll probably entertain in about 3 months. Well, over 10 years later, I finally posted this summer that the project is finished. And one of my friends posted on Facebook, and it said it only took a worldwide pandemic for you to have enough time to finish your arcade. And to preface that, I worked in the hotel lodging event industry, most recently for 18 years at what was the Depot Hotel downtown Minneapolis, the water park, the ice rink, all that. I was laid off within a week of the state shutdown. And I was just talking about this at work this past week. Somebody said something and it triggered a memory. And all these people I worked with, there's like 300 people if you include the on-call and stuff. And, I saw these people for years, and there's a lot of turnover in the business, but there were a lot of people that have been there, similar lengths. Yeah, and we're gone. Yeah. And I didn't share my Facebook with people. I have a very small list, and it's not because I don't want to be friends, but it's a personal list. It's my friends are my friends.
Sure.
And so there's people I keep thinking about. I'm like, I didn't get to say goodbye to them. I don't know where they are.
You'll have to go on with your real name and then friend them.
Yeah, I could, but anyway. But I'm just saying,
duplicity.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Clark Kent, Superman.
Yeah.
Clark Kent, Superman. Anyway, so this company's been building arcade games from scratch. All the old school games pretty much are in the mix. Everything from Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Galaga, all the favorites. And while 2020 has been extremely tough on so many small businesses owners, Doc and Pies continues to grow. I hate this name. I don't like this name.
It's the worst name ever.
I'm starting to sound a little bit like Dan Reed, but I don't like the name Doc and Pies.
The negative news.
The negative news with Dan Reed.
How is it spelled? Like Doc? Like Dockin?
Doc, yeah, like Doc Brown.
Doc, D-O-C, and
D-O-C,
Pies. Yeah.
Pies? Like
maybe there's raspberry pies in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. But anyway, yeah. I don't know.
Who the hell calls themselves Billy 7?
Right, that guy.
It's kind of. It sounds like somebody from Logan's Run, in my opinion. So it's kind of cool.
Logan's Run. That's awesome.
We just mentioned that twice.
Mark 5.
Yeah.
Yep. Jessica, what was the? Oh, damn it! I can't think of the actress's name.
Oh,
there's another one I need to remember forever.
Yeah, she's so beautiful.
She was nice.
She's very nice.
It's very nice. I remember I saw the VHS tape version. I was like, "What is happening?"
VHS, I love it.
And I don't know.
Changing clothes.
I think we should give up.
Really been...
Well, I do want to mention one other thing. What's that?
Jinx.
I
was just going to bring up Barbarella, but go on.
Oh, Barbarella.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah, I just bought that on HD. Yeah, that first scene, man. Jane Fonda in a spacesuit and not in a spacesuit. I like Mark's laugh.
I got like a 6 foot tall coin changer poster with like a Jane Fonda Barbarella knockoff. I'll post that to the game thing. I'll take a photo. Or no, I'll take a photo. I'll post it up to Arcade Radio.
There you go.
Okay.
That sounds like a plan.
I'm into that. Knock off. Oh wait.
What?
So there's an associated phone call to this article.
Really?
Looks like. Yeah.
To this next article or the one before that?
The one you just read, I think. Doc and Pies.
Really?
I'll be right back.
Well, he's gonna miss the call.
Oh no.
I can re-listen to it.
He's just like, screw it. I don't care about it.
It's fine.
No, it's important.
I'll check the voicemail. Here we go.
Thank you for calling 612-548-GAME. This is Arcade Radio. Please leave your message after the tone.
I hope they're open.
What's going on here?
See what's going to happen. Come on. Oh. Message after the tone. Hey, this is Bob Zarzadek, control panel expert and technician. I'd like to find out about the licensing that you guys have with these games that you've working on here. We here at Valley Midway are very cognizant of our intellectual properties, and so if you wouldn't mind giving us a call back, you can just look us up on the internet, namco.com, and let's have a little discussion about what's going on over there. Okay? All right. Well, you guys, get back to me as soon as you can. All right? All right.
That's pretty. Bob just made a prank call to Doc and Pies. Jinx again.
Wow.
Oh, that is hilarious. This is hilarious.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody's going to get it tomorrow morning and going, "What the hell is this?"
Right. So the other article I wanted to read comes from the Play Stuff blog.
Okay.
It's from the Strong. I've never heard of that. It was National Museum of Play. Anyway, it was posted on December 10th by guest blogger Chris Kohler, editor-director of Digital Clips. And I think the really cool thing about this is it brings up a guy, and I'm just going to paraphrase because it's just really interesting. But the first home video game machines were all, sort of dedicated machines like Pong and whatnot. So if you wanted a new game in your house, you had to buy an entirely new system, which is not exactly the best structure for, buying video games. And so we mentioned him last season, but Gerald Lawson, born in 1940, was an inventor that worked for Fairchild. And he invented something called the Channel F, which was the very first cartridge-based console that used different ROMs. So at any rate, this article ended up being about, and I'm just going to read this one paragraph here. In the days of CRT televisions, local TV repair shops were a booming business. Especially if there was arcade games, right? So bringing your television in for a tune-up was nearly as common as taking your car to Jiffy Lube. On one of the tools of the trade was of the television repair technician was a pattern generator. So also related to our BitKit friend Aaron Reed, who Crafty Mech, who invented a pattern generator so that we could do the same thing. We could fix our TVs in our machines. But so these television repair guys use this. So a piece of specialized hardware that would generate different patterns on the screen, vertical lines, solid blocks of color, circles, and then the technician could make adjustments to the screen accordingly. So, but interesting, according to a video sales flyer, these pattern generators typically cost between $1,000 to $2,000, roughly $3,000 to $6,000 today. That's a lot of money for a pattern generator. And by the way, if you want the Crafty Mac one, I think it's not that expensive. What's it around like $100?
Yeah, even that. I'll go look on Arcade Shop and I'll tell you.
Okay. So, but with Lawson's, Jerry Lawson invented his own.
$89.
$89. There you go. So Jerry Lawson invented a color bar generator game. It wasn't a game though. It was a cartridge for the Atari 2600. And for $30, these repair shops could buy this game, this Atari 2600 cartridge. And apparently somebody picked it up on eBay for buy it now for $20. And it's super rare. So 10 years ago, this guy says, I was browsing a newly listed items from eBay and lucked out. He spotted a color bar generator listed at a buy it now price of $20. He immediately grabbed it. It was shipped to him directly from a video repair shop in Rhode Island, where he had to imagine it had been sitting there for many decades. Even better, it included the original box and manual in amazing condition.
Oh my God.
So at the time, a complete color bar generator was a great find for his personal game collection. But as the years went on, he realized just how historic and how important that object was, and how vanishingly rare those particular cartridges are in this condition. So this blogger says that he is happy to say that he's donated it, the complete copy of this rare historical find, to the Strong, which is where I'm reading from, where Jerry Lawson's papers are housed. So all of Jerry Lawson's work for the Fairchild Channel F is being memorialized at the Strong, and he's donated it to part of that collection. So he's glad to know that it'll be preserved and used to study the early history of video games, and most importantly, to keep the legacy of Jerry Lawson alive, who incidentally is not just the inventor of the Channel F. He was a black man working in a predominantly white industry, and you just never heard of that sort of thing. It's a significant piece of history. So anyway, I just thought it was really cool. I wanted to share that with people. So you can look at that article, and it's tough. Rare Atari cartridge is another clever invention of a video game pioneer. It's on the Strong and the Play Stuff blog. So
I wonder if they ported that to like the Atari 2600 MAME project.
I think there is a ROM of it available, and if you have the Harmony cartridge, you can play it. If I'm not mistaken. So
interesting.
Yes.
All right, see how it goes.
You know about the Harmony cartridge, right?
Is that the one with like a million things on it?
Well, it's an SD cartridge. It's one of the earliest SD cartridges out there, I think. But it's from the Atari 2600.
I got to get one of those.
It's pretty cool.
So, you're saying Jerry designed this for the 2600?
Yeah.
I'd never heard of this before. That is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's a brand new article written by the blogger Chris Kohler, apparently. So
I took my phone with me and I was listening, and I was blown away by that. I love in what's the Netflix show is that the one where they do his history? I'd never heard about that.
Yeah.
You know,
so that's
the dude with the arcade book beside Vans, Steve somebody or other.
Yeah.
Arcade history. I think he touches on Jerry in the Channel F, but that video show was pretty awesome. And then to your point about home consoles.
Oh my God. Pong for your home.
This was Pong.
Yep.
This was as big as your 2600 almost, just to play Pong.
Yep. I have two of those. I have a Pong, Super 4 Pong, and then I have a 2-player version, I think, as well.
It's amazing.
I know. But this Jerry, that's awesome. I got to look that up. That is so cool. Thank you for sharing that.
And that the Fairchild Channel F, by the way, is gigantic. It's like twice the size of an Atari 2600. Or it's at least a third bigger. So it's just giant. It's not 5200 giant, but it's big.
Right.
And the cartridges are like that. I mean, they're like 7 inches. So
that sounds about average size.
Just about average.
What?
Atari cartridges are only like 3 inches.
Oh.
Was it the Netflix show that interviewed his kids and stuff?
Yeah, that was
High Score.
Cool.
That
was probably
awesome.
one of the best pieces I think in that documentary actually, and it's right in the beginning. So if you want to catch a cool piece of history, check out that High Score documentary on Netflix. It's pretty sweet. And there's a lot of talk about this Insert Coin documentary that's floating around. I talked about it last week, being shown at the Cinema Draft House.
Alamo Draft House.
Alamo Draft House.
Right.
So I don't know if it's still streaming or not, but
I think I have a way to see it.
Okay, cool. We should
talk to you after the show.
I looked it up, but I couldn't find it other than where it was showing.
Oh. Hey.
Is it streaming on like Amazon or whatever?
I think so.
I think AlamoDraftHouse.com I think has
a
streaming service. I'm pretty sure that's the one.
Okay.
I'm just checking the actual voicemails right now. Bob's got his own special line for us.
Right. Yeah.
It's funny because
you heard that.
Yeah. Well, I think he has a red phone that's under like a cake topper that he calls us with. Like a glass cake topper.
Right. It's probably a landline inside of his boxes.
Holy crap! I have 24 voicemails.
What?
Yeah.
Are they new?
Yeah. Let's try this one. These are text messages. They're all spam.
Who's sending us texts? What are they going to get a new warranty for our car or?
Here's it. I don't know. This one's 4 seconds.
Okay.
There's absolutely no noise on it. Yeah.
Nah.
No voicemails besides Bob tonight. Oh, that's sad.
Dang it.
That means we're going to do your segment next.
All right.
All right.
Back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
Back to the cave with Time Runner.
Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
That's right, Doc Brown, or as I call him, myself. That's terrible. Hey, so we are basically educating our audience this week with bad video / arcade game TV shows that were out in the 80s. Not always bad, but kind of obscure.
Oh, okay.
And so this one, I don't know if you recall, but after Starcade went away, the video game was syndicated. Do you remember this?
I do not.
Okay, so apparently it only lasted from September 84 to September 85. And it was also created by JM Production, who also made Starcade. And essentially, oh, great. When I pasted this into my show notes, I did not make the text wrap, so I can't see. Okay. There it is. Holy shit, that's even worse.
That's fine. Just roll with it.
Right. Okay. So let me just try to do this.
This is
okay.
great.
I think I figured it out. Okay. Okay. To begin, 2 contestants called down from the audience. So instead of like Starcade, where you already know who they are, I bet they were seeds. Anyway, so long story short, each person plays the same video game, and then the first one that reaches a predetermined score wins a prize, and then they.
What the?
Somebody calling us?
Yeah, this can't be good.
This is never good.
I'm gonna close this. Who's 916? I'm sorry. I'm closing the lines. Sorry. We're not have any interruptions right now. Go ahead.
I thought those were sound effects from the video game show. So I was like, "Well, that's cool. You have the sound effect from the show."
That's excellent.
So anyway, after that happens, somebody gets a little prize, and then you have to play 3 mini games to get sort of into the middle parts of the show. And the 3 mini games, it's weird is that these are like physical contests. So they're mixing up playing the arcade game with having to do a physical challenge.
Sure.
One's called The Maze, and you're on a 5x5 grid. No clue what the actual game was. Bit Attack, which is 2 questions about 2 different video games.
Yeah.
And you actually win a question for each prize. That's kind of cool. the right move. I don't know if Tom Cruise is involved. The contestants, they see a clip from a Laserdisc video game on the screen, and then they're given 4 choices as to what move should be made in order to advance. That's pretty cool, actually. If you guess correctly, you win a prize. And then another one, the game Stalker. A video game character is shown on the screen, and the contestant is given 2 choices for the character's name. And if you guess correctly, you win a prize. The contestant then had to identify what game the character was from, and then, of course, if you guess that, you get another prize.
Oh, they give a lot of they give more prizes than we did last season.
That is, like, every single good question, you get a prize. But back then, their prizes were like, this is an extra box you can put stuff in, you know? Like, it's black and yellow. Anyway, audience favorites. A list of 3 games were given. A contestant picks which games he or she thought was the most popular and the second most popular in a studio audience survey. Each correct guess was worth a different prize. Yes, that's right. Anyway, so after they did all that, they played something called the Res Off round. I guess stealing being derez from Tron. So they're basically, it's played on a 5x5 grid, the same as the maze, but now there's 10. It's like a 10x10. Hey, whatever. Who cares? A contestant had 30 seconds after you get through all this stuff. The last thing that happens is you get to play an arcade game again. Finally, and it's picked by that contestant from a list of 8 games before the show. So obviously now here we realize that these people that are just sitting in the audience are actually just, we knew they were going to play the game anyway. To see what score the contestant had to beat, he or she would stop a randomizing, flashing 10 separate scores, each one from another person who had played the game for 30 seconds or something like that. Anyway, it didn't last long, and it sounds terrible.
That's funny.
Oh, but if you beat the score that and you actually won a full-size arcade game. These descriptions are way shorter. These other game shows, it's a giant pinball machine. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
you say foul on the phone.
Starcade is pretty involved too. I mean,
there are some questions.
I think I have a voicemail. I am going to check the voicemail again.
Do you?
Yeah, because you announced it in the chat.
Mr. Kraft and Gak.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's I closed the line, but now I got to reopen it.
Okay. Let's go.
All right, let's check this out. It's worth listening to.
Sure. Yeah.
Why not?
Is it a crank call? No.
I don't know. We'll see. Right. It says I have 8 messages. Oh, that's because I have a new one. Oh, all right, let's see.
Thank you for calling 612-548-GAME. This is Arcade Radio. Please leave your message after the tone.
Hi. This message is for Bob with Zarzadek. This is Marty McOpenfly.
Oh, no.
And I had a question for you. If I had a control panel, because I hear you're the control panel expert, by the way. If I had a control panel that's just riddled with holes, my real question is, how many holes is too many? If it looks like Swiss cheese, do I toss that sucker and just start all over, or what? And second question, if you could only make one control panel, what would that setup be? 2-way, 4-way, 8-way, stick, 1 stick, 2 sticks, 4 sticks, 1 button, 8 buttons. What would you say? And
wow.
Have you ever thought about doing a mashup with Doc Brown? I think the two of you need to meet and have a good time. So enjoy the show. I appreciate what you guys do. And Marty McOpenfly out.
Oh, that's great. It's funny. We're gonna have to have Bob on the show. Looking at another call. Should I just answer? Should I answer it?
Sure. What'll happen when that? Yeah, sure.
Do it.
All right, you guys won't be able to hear it though. So here.
That'll be weird.
Arcade Radio, you're on the air.
Hey man, this is Billy Seven. I just wanted to thank you for having me on the show tonight. Peace out.
unexpected.
That was awesome.
I was like, well, we can't hear him.
Were you able to hear him that time? Oh, that's funny because last time I opened a call on the air and nobody could hear it except me. Remember that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm closing the lines. That was phenomenal. That was great. That's the most phone action we've had on any show.
You had to open up a 900 number.
That's right.
1-900.
Oh, I could tell you stories about the 1-900 hacking I used to do.
Oh, really? Well, don't tell us now because I think we have a game to play.
So,
Yes, we do.
Because this is going to be the finale for the show tonight, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you
That
think?
sounds good.
And then
no juke?
No, this is it.
This is it. This is
Because
Hello and welcome to the season 5 edition of What's in the Juke.
Hello.
It's the game within a game within a podcast today. We will be playing theme songs from random 1980s cartoon shows. Guess the name of the show and you will receive
half point.
Yes. You can guess at least one main character's name, not the actor, but the fictional cartoon character name. You will receive
half point.
Good. If you guess both the cartoon show and that character's name, you receive
full
a
point.
Yeah. If you don't know either one of these, fight it out amongst yourselves. Nice. Now that our sample fighting is over, let us begin.
Hey, did
I
you
forget
not
that
have
he
a
says to begin.
Did you not have a big contest tonight?
Do we? Oh.
We don't have a contest tonight, no.
Because if not, I thought you'd do that, and then I finally got around to making Donkey Kong flavored
chocolate
Motoramas.
Oh, but it looks chocolate. I
Yeah,
love that.
it's Donkey Kong colored.
It's not
And then
edible.
in the process, I made some Gorilla in the Mist gray ones. What's the one from Congo?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought if you wanted to give some of these away, I got these laying around all over the place.
I will be keeping track of points.
Yes, we will. Now here's the deal. If you want to give them
Yes.
away, you got to send them because my budget for mailing stuff is nil.
Well, I don't want to be a party pooper.
Yeah, and there's the
So-
problem. When you get a Canadian winning, you end up spending $45 to ship that
I
stupid thing to
know,
Canada.
And I'm not cash flush, so how about anywhere in the continental U.S., I'll offer up shipping for up to 3 prizes tonight.
Oh, that's
and I
very
may
nice.
Throw some
Or-
other garbage in.
Or how about how about MGC in 2021 maybe? Meet up
Well,
with
yeah,
Billy.
if you're
and
gonna
then
go to
you can-
that or Pinball Expo, I'll be there. I'll bring them.
All right.
there you
Oh, and real quick, a shout out to Mr. Jones in the audience tonight because
Yeah.
he's on the Moldorama owners list nowadays too. And
Yeah.
his-
Oh, yeah. We talked a little bit about Brian Jones. It doesn't have a Moldorama though. He has the other machine.
Well, we won't get into that. But
Why?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Is it a knockoff?
Well, let's see. It's
It's
what,
not a-
8:52,
it's
and
not a
are you willing to
knockoff.
go till 9:52?
Oh, no. This is an 8-minute contest we're about to do.
We got a little time, but
Yeah.
I was actually thinking we might dance the night out with one of my tracks tonight.
All right.
I got a reggae style track I've been itching to
I'll
play
turn
for
the mirror
people.
ball on.
Okay, so this is where we start playing tracks, right?
Correct.
Okay, here's your first track, chatters. Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, I think that gave it away, right?
It did.
If you can understand it, but
A
I think
lot of these give it away.
but it's great because like these are so low fidelity now. They're just
I love it.
junk. And I haven't checked. I don't think they've gotten flagged at all.
No, they have not. I looked.
Did you run them at a lower bit rate and they don't get flagged?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're really awful. Netropolis with mask is correct.
Oh, mask! All right.
I think the P must be silent. It's just mask, MASK, right? So I don't know what it stands for. What does that even stand for? Man Action Silly Canuck.
Canuck.
Yeah. I don't know. Man action? Really, Adam? That was what you came up with? Don't go into improv because you will suck. Okay, here is your second clip. Oof. Wow, this is terrible. Oh, that is awful. I mean, it's great. Mobile Armored Strike Command with a K. Yeah. Man, Ryan, you should get an extra point just for that.
Heck yeah.
Half point.
And actually, did you capture one of the...
Was Matt Tracker?
Matt
I don't really
Tracker.
actually know any of the main characters.
Yeah, so Ryan got a character.
Let's give him a full point.
All right. So he gets a full point.
Full point.
And that was the Pink Panther, Joe Drossen, it looks like. And this is kind of a sucky one because one of the characters is the Pink Panther.
Oh, yeah.
So Metropolis gets a half point for Pink Panty her.
That seems like intentional. What he just did.
It does.
Pink Panty her.
Panty her.
Well, the T and the Y are next to each other. You know what? I'm going to give it to him.
Okay, great. That sounds good.
That's
full point.
Nope, it's not a full point. It's a half point for both those guys.
Now he has a full point.
Are they fighting it out?
Going in the next one real quick. Kitty Rama owner 2.
Yeah.
Right? You're Kitty Rama owner?
I am.
Well,
yeah.
We're both. We're all three. We all have Kitty Ramas.
I actually just posted a TikTok a few days ago that went viral.
Did it?
Of my Kitty Rama. It has about 80,000 views or something.
Can you send it to me outside of TikTok so I don't got to sign up for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put it in the chat, Mark. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got a half point for Pink Panther, half point for Pink Panther. Here comes your next track.
From now on, like your parents were, you are the secret force of whole.
That I've never heard this song.
It's pretty wild.
I mean, I didn't even realize was part of Saturday Morning Supercade?
That's right.
Okay.
Supercade.
From now on, like your parents were, you are the secret force of pole position.
They're moving real fast, they're the only ones who can get there on time.
Okay, Sid.
And they're the too far behind, they're always fighting crime.
God, I love the 80s. They're always fighting crime.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Metropolis got pole position.
Sweet. I don't think anybody's going to get a character out of that because, I mean...
I just say, let's just move on.
A winner is you.
Yes.
Yeah. Christopher out there is asking if we got Brian's Kitty Rama. He had like 6 of them. And Billy 7 actually is one of the first people I know in the state to own one. Probably the first person outside of like owning it and operating it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've wanted one for years. Brian started liquidating the cabinets that he got. Mark bought his first. I bought mine second. And then I'm waiting for camera parts and things to materialize from Marty. So we'll see.
Mine's still empty,
and
but
a coin,
very nice condition.
I think Brian was supposed to.
Adam.
Yeah.
Stevens.
And I think you were also going to hook me up with coin mechanism or something for mine. So
yeah, hit me up. Mark, did yours come from the Marty stash too? Which was where mine came from even before that.
Yep.
Yes.
And how about Brian Jones?
I don't know where Brian Jones got his. Did he buy one from Brian?
I don't know.
Yeah, we should. It's such an interesting machine.
We can talk Kitty Rama after your thing there, but real quick, you were talking about Pink Panther, and I want to interject.
Sure.
I keep my things all original, only have the right films in, but the only 2 films I want to put in my Kitty Rama, because they were only Lance and Terry Toons and stuff,
Right.
I've purchased the Inspector. Remember the Pink Panther?
Yes.
That is like one of my absolute favorite cartoons. So I'm going to put one of those in there and a Three Stooges one. But so when you did Pink Panther, I love the Inspector. That is like my favorite cartoon to this day.
I agree. That was one. Listen, do.
Yeah, do. Yep.
He does talk in there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he goes, "See, Inspector."
Yeah. See. Oh God, I forgot about that.
No, we.
No, I think he says "see," doesn't he?
Yeah, but in the Inspector, there's a whole there's a joke in that. There's a joke in all of it. And Pat, what's his last name? Snyder from One Day at a Time.
Yeah,
he's the voice of the Inspector.
Ah, interesting.
No way.
Yep.
Interesting.
Sorry, I didn't want to do this. I just wanted to interject real quick that the Pink Panther was really cool.
I think everybody's having a
takes
good
it to the next
time.
level.
This is a lot more interesting than What's in the Juke is usually.
Well,
and
the Ant and the Aardvark.
We have the. Oh God, yeah, I have those.
This was
Those are so awesome.
John Biner doing Jackie Mason.
Jackie Mason. I gotta get that end.
What did I do?
What did I do? Come back here, you little runt.
Well, you're right. The dudes in the chat, they're digging on this too. You're right.
I mean, so you're a much more interesting song than most of the songs we play. Yeah, here comes your next track.
This is Billy Batson, star reporter for station WIZZ-TV.
Okay, in case you didn't hear that, it's Billy Basson. That's one of the characters, so if you're paying attention, you just got a point, or at least a half point, right? So
Thanks for helping them.
You're welcome.
This is Billy
trying to move it along.
Star reporter for station WIZZ-TV. He has been picked by the aged wizard Shazam to carry on the wizard's lifelong crusade against crime and the forces of evil. When Billy speaks the wizard's name, Shazam!
Shazam! Billy Basson is correct. The Trepless gets a half point, and it is Shazam Brian Jones with a half point.
Half point.
For both those guys. So good job. Here comes your next track, and I just bought the first 4 seasons of this show from 1973 on up. It's so good.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 4 greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Superman. Wonder Woman.
Batman.
Aquaman.
It is.
Those 3 junior super friends, Wendy, Marvin, and Wonder Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Super Friends was before Justice League. It is the Justice League, essentially, but it was called Super Friends. That is from the 1973 first season of the show. And those episodes were 44 minutes long.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and so they had vignettes. They would have, like, sections, and they would all tie together at the end, kind of like a Scooby-Doo.
Challenge of the Super Friends was the best. Prove me wrong.
Okay. I do love Challenge. I have that season as well. I love it. But I love the Super Friends. The first season, actually, with Wonder Dog and those 2 characters, I was not very interested in it. They were very 60s throwback.
Right.
Oh, yeah, totally. But it confused me because I didn't realize why they got banished and replaced by the Wonder Twins. It was really strange.
And don't forget, Michael Rye, the Dragon Slayer narrator, was Green Lantern and Apache Chief, and I think
Apache Chief.
Inukcha.
Oh, you guys! I think that's racist now. I'm pretty sure. But do you guys know who? Do you guys know who did? Can I finish?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who did the intro for the show? Who did the voiceover?
Yes, but I don't want to give it away. See if the chat does it.
Oh, well, I don't know if they will.
Oh, who is it?
Go ahead.
I owe you nothing.
Lyle Wagner.
No.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Hey, Whitey, where's your hat?
That's getting closer.
What? The Hall of Justice.
All right, time's up. Who is it, Billy?
It's Ted Knight.
No way.
Yep, Ted Knight was the original announcer for the Super Friends, and then later they brought in the other guy.
I got it.
Yep.
Ted Knight, so classy. Well, we're waiting.
Exactly. Well, we're waiting.
Caddyshack.
$100 you slice into the woods.
That guy, that actor was.
And of course, if you bring that in, you got to bring in. Sorry, Adam.
No, that's fine.
Yori.
From Tron?
Yeah, that Lacey Underalls is. What's her toes?
Lacey Underalls.
I don't know, but this is going off the
Oh, she is. Yes. Yep. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, I'm missing something. I'm
Lacey Underall from Caddyshack.
Is Yori in Tron? What's her name?
Yeah. Yep, she's beautiful.
I don't care.
Yeah. Yori, I love her.
What the heck's her name? I can't think of her name.
I don't know.
Cindy Morgan.
Oh, there. Yep.
Yeah, Cindy Morgan. It was on the tip of my tongue. Okay,
dance.
Next track.
I don't know what it is. What is it? I don't know.
I think it's.
Guys laughing at me.
We have a heckler. I think it's Battletoads.
Joe Drossen, boom. Mike Page in a close second.
All right, and did anybody name a character? It should be very easy. You know. We get a half point in there.
Half point.
And half point for...
Half point.
Joe Drossen got Donatello.
Donatello.
Yep.
Yes. Fabulous.
All right.
Oh, right. I think I closed the chat. Did I close the chat? I hate it when I do that.
on the Data East Mutant Ninja Turtle pinball, the original one, if there's no credits in the game and you hit the start button, it goes, "Oh, bummer, dude." And one of the dudes is mounted on the pop bumper. They had those jumper pop bumpers, so when you hit the pop bumper, he'd move. They had the action figures screwed to the playfield, and you go, "Whoa, whoa!" And there's actually a manhole cover. And for multi-ball, they go, "Everybody out of the sewer," and it'd flip open, and all the balls would pile
out. Yeah. Didn't that have a spinning pizza in it too?
Yep.
That's a great game. You know what's funny? It's Data East, right?
Yep.
There are very few Data East pinballs that I can tolerate because I hate the way they implemented sound. They were just really annoying if they were turned up loud. So I really like that pinball though. It's I think I really like it.
The BMST chip, Brian Schmidt Music Technology chip.
Ah, yes. There's a lot of racket coming out of those. Didn't they make Batman 1990 or something like that?
Yep. Police Force was supposed to be Batman, and then they got the license, and they made the Batman license.
Interesting. So are they like identical playfields?
Oh, no.
Okay.
There's a very rare sketch that Python did of when they were trying to obtain the license, and it's changed hands, and I had a chance to buy it at a pinball expo a long time ago for not much money, and I was buying a house that year, and I didn't, and it changed hands through James Laughlin in the past year or so. After Python passed away, I was very fortunate to meet him long before he became ill.
Yeah, you have told us that story.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic
story. The first year I went
story.
to the expo, I wanted to meet him, and it took 10 years. And then after 10 years, I got to spend like 5 hours hanging out with him.
That was pretty sweet.
You know,
I remember you
interesting
telling us,
cat.
just sitting at the bar with them, just chilling.
Yep.
All right, here's your next track.
Sunglasses from the car and everything.
Oh my God!
I forgot about this one. Oh.
It's intense.
Oh,
I like that. I like that cartoon.
Yeah, it actually I used to watch it. You just get sucked in.
Right.
It's been a while, but we're back in style. I mean, they were
cleaning it up.
Nice. With the full point?
Full point.
All right. That's nice.
He did.
Python was nuts, as Brian Jones says. I think that's probably true. Okay, here comes your next track. Oh my God. That was loud. There's a guy locally that makes CNC'd metal signs, and he made one. And Billy, you saw it when you were over here last time, but it's about 9 inches, and it's the Thundercats logo, and it's CNC'd in metal.
Yeah.
It is gorgeous. It's powder coated and in colored black red. And it'll cut you because it's just CNC'd metal.
Oh no!
I'm gonna cut you.
Yeah.
Mike Page on the board. Thundercats.
Well, that's good because I gave away the whole thing there.
Right.
But you know,
it's like Lioness, Mr. Peabody. Boom.
Oh, that's cool. I thought somebody Lion-O would. Have you guys heard the Thundercats outtakes?
No. What?
All right, let me play this for you.
You gotta snap out of it, Lion-O! Called the Thundercats before!
Shut up, you fuck. I should have known the Territor didn't mean us any harm when the Sword of Omens didn't obey me. And anyway, it was just plain stupid to assume it might be bad. Just what the fuck am I talking about?
Oh, Lion-O! We're not...
What's the matter, Snarf?
I got a cold.
It's when Wily Cat and Kid are pretending to be the most helpful that they're dropping their pens on the thing while I'm talking.
And keep your foot off that blasted samoflange.
What the fuck is a samoflange?
I have to do that again.
I'm going to put this one right between her pretty...
That's the line of the show right here. Let's find the mega condenser. I'm saying that too fast. Let's find the mega condenser. Still going too fast.
What's wrong, Lion-O?
Oh, fuck, here it is again.
What's here again?
That thing, that mega thing.
Want me to say it?
Yes! Thunder! 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 Thundercats! I'm going too high.
Motherfucker! You fucking dog, yeah!
Shut the fuck up! Get over here, bitch!
Ah! Damn.
Run out the fucking plank, boys! Come here, motherfucker.
Well, that's why the show is not rated for kids.
Wow.
Have you heard the one where Casey Kasem goes off the deep end like that?
Oh yeah, I've got that one too.
That and Waylon Jennings doing the Dukes of Hazzard voiceover too.
I've not heard that one.
Oh, they're both classics.
Yeah, there's the Kasem one. There's someone made a song in the 80s. I can't find it. It's hard to find, but it's got like U2 mixed into it. He's little dog named Snuggles, and okay. All right, we'll play that too.
Now we're up to our long distance dedication, and this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all understand, whether we have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio, and here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's start again. From coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. See, when you come out of those up-tempo goddamn numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions, and then you got to go into somebody dying. They do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but goddamn it, if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. Now, make it, and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. It's the last goddamn time I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is that's up tempo, and I got to talk about a fucking dog dying.
Yeah. What about my potato chips?
Zoinks.
There's another one where he's doing call signs and he screws up. I've got that one too, but I'm not going to play it. All right, here comes your next track.
They always give it away.
Time's not a night.
Okay, so they basically have 30 seconds to sing the intro to the song. You know they're going to drop the name. They just,
of course, because they want you to go to the store and buy the toys later.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I was looking for the soundtrack.
Those toys were so cool. Soundwave with the cassettes.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
That
crap.
makes me miss my Camaro.
It was Ravage and who was the other one? The Vulture? Well, he was the Vulture. Ravage, and then there was like a leopard. I don't remember what they were. Anyway.
Orson Welles was...
Omicron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
S1500 got both right away. On
Nice.
the same line.
Nice. Yeah, Transformers. That was full point.
Full point.
And this is the final one.
Final one.
In honor of the Kitty-Rama. Oh. I only saw ever 2 Kitty-Ramas. I've told the others one of the stories ad nauseum on the show about me being in this mall and blah blah blah, hot chocolate, and then there was another one at Showbiz Pizza in St. Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember him there.
Yeah. And I don't know how long it was there, but I remember going to it thinking, why would anybody do this when they're in an arcade? But I know.
I have records from the second cache. Did I ever send you the photo of the 70 of them that got smashed the one night?
Mm-mm.
We can talk about it later another time, but
okay.
I got that, but I have records of where their actual machines were kept.
Oh.
It's something they want to post to the internet, so it could be one of those locations.
Interesting.
They kept a notebook of where they were. That's not Gene's, the one where yours came from.
I would love to. Where
did mine come from? Oh, I don't know.
Gene's.
Oh, okay. Oh, Gene's, right. I wonder what store it was at originally. There's no way to know, right?
Well, that's what he's saying. There was an operators list where they were located, right?
But these were the mini-ramas, the smaller ones.
Okay. All right, so who got that? Woody Woodpecker, Woody?
Metropolis got it.
All right.
And that puts him on top. And I'm going to say that Mr. Peabody, just saying Woody, basically gets the character name.
All right.
Half point.
So who won this tonight?
Metropolis. He squeaked past S1500 and Joe Drossen. They were all three tied at 2.5 until just now.
All right. Well, so the winners are, and are you giving away 3 prizes or what are we doing?
Yeah, I'll give 3 away. You get your choice of whether you want now, real quick, and I don't know if we've talked about this. I always wanted to get a Gorilla mold and label it. I played Donkey Kong at Xanadu, the Billy 7 arcade. Well, not all of that, but just I played Donkey Kong at Xanadu. But a friend of mine, as a favor, gave me this mold from Como Zoo from the 70s. So it says Como Zoo and Don and Donna. So I didn't want to re-engrave it. So I won't be doing that, but you get this guy. Where is it there?
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Brown, or you get kind of the light gray Gorillas in the Mist. You can have your choice, and I'll give 3 of them away. I'll give 4. Screw it, 4.
Geez, 4. That's great. You're Oprah tonight.
But in only shipping to mainland United States, otherwise you have to pay.
Sure.
If you want.
Okay, so the 4 winners are who, Mark?
So Metropolis is in first. I think he's in Canada.
Sorry, dude. I'm cash poor right now.
Yeah, it's all right. If he wants it, he can pay.
And then
it's cheaper for him anyway.
There's 2 people tied for 4th place.
Okay.
So it's Metropolis. Okay, then that means S1500 and Joe Drossen tied for 2nd, and Brian Jones and Mr. Peabody tied for 3rd.
Sure. That sounds good.
So there are 4 people.
Excellent.
There's also Metropolis. Yeah, we'll
if
talk.
Metropolis wants to pay, I'll do 4 for the other ones if they're in continental United States.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's a Merry Christmas present from Billy 7. Thanks for doing that. That's pretty sweet.
Well, I'm happy to share whatever, whenever. I wish I could have you all over to hang out, but again, little not quite there yet. We're getting close.
This reminds me, I owe Mike Page a T-shirt. Mike Page needs to hit me up on Facebook, and I'm going to be drop shipping the T-shirt from Canada to Canada, so that should be cheap. So I have a new way of making the T-shirts. So I mean,
nice.
if you do want an Arcade Radio T-shirt, you can also buy them on teespring.com/arcaderadio.
And real quick, winners, call out whether you want the gray or the brown donkey, the gorilla.
Sure.
If Mark will write it down or whoever writes it down.
Sure, I will.
Just get the contact stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so Metropolis, S15, Joe Drosen, Brian Jones, Mr. Peabody. Basically everybody who got a point, almost.
Anyone who scored tonight gets a prize.
Yeah, he looks darker than he really is, and he looks whiter than he really is. So this is Donkey Kong Marquis brown color, and this is we didn't answer that. Who's the gorilla in Congo? What was the
I used to know that
gorilla, which was the last Bally pinball machine made in downtown Chicago.
Well, Dolly, a regular listener, and Casey, they own a Congo pinball. Yeah, it's too bad they didn't play
really
tonight.
rare one. It's a conversion one.
Yeah. Apparently, Dolly runs on Thursdays, and it kind of holds Casey up because he can't be. I don't know if he listens to the show or not when he's putting.
Well, she could put the phones on and jog, and they could,
Sure.
like,
yeah,
do a thing in or whatever or something. I don't know.
Yeah, real good. It would be very good to jog with our show on.
What are you, Siegfried from Bernie Kopel from?
Now is the time on Sprockets. What?
Amy was the gorilla in Congo.
Yes, that's it.
When
All
we
right.
had
1500.
I wanted to say like Angie. Hey, you know what? You didn't have Jason and the Wheeled Warriors on tonight, or what would have been another one of that? You guys call out some cartoons you remember. That
Brian says he was a shaved gorilla, so he's not really gray.
Oh, well, no gorilla for you, Brian.
Oh wow.
No, I'm just playing. Silver gorilla, I guess. Yeah. So silver gorilla.
Silver, sure.
And that wouldn't be Gorillas in the Mist. That was what, Jane Joy Goodall or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm messing it all up. Sorry.
Yes, you are.
Get
Hey,
your
but guess
facts
what?
from the real interwebs, not me.
We're going to I think we're gonna wrap up the show. But I want to do it a little differently tonight. I'm not gonna play music over our exit strategy. And Mark, we're gonna have to. You and I are gonna have to tag team the page because Billy doesn't have the notes.
Okay, no problem. I got it.
Just sing Christmas carols.
That's right. We could sing in the style of
I got it.
Of Bill Murray singing Star Wars.
Star Wars,
Yeah,
nothing but star.
Yeah, so it'd be thanks for listening in. Like you do a lounge style. Oh, thanks for listening in. That's
Are
a little
we singing
Elvis.
to a melody that we know?
No, I'm just making that up. I'm not going to sing.
Radiosphere.
I'm not going to. Right, exactly.
Okay, got it.
Thanks for listening. We'd have to practice it. So thanks for listening to the Double R's. That's Arcade Radio.
Hey, check out our website, RcadeRadio.com. That's RcadeRadio.com, but spelled out.
Yeah.
For all of our social media and swag links.
Or you can call and leave comments on the game line, 612-548-GAME. That's 4263.
Yes. Are you enjoying the show? Pick up some Arcade Radio swag at teespring.com/Arcade Radio, or consider supporting our Patreon campaign.
Patreon?
Over at patreon.com.
Hey, if we got Patreon people, we could actually have a contest regularly.
That would be great.
That'd be cool.
There are multiple tiers starting at just $3 a month. Any bit helps us with the costs of running the show.
That's like $1.50 an episode.
Nice.
Sometimes less because you get like 3 sometimes in a month. Anyway, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the little notification bell, and you'll know when we're streaming live.
And if you like what you're hearing, consider dropping a 5-star review.
Because
on
that
Anchor.
helps us get to the top.
Yes, people will finally see our stuff if you give us those 5-star reviews. You could just give us 5 stars and then just put the words "pretty good," and then
exactly,
and we're fine.
Not deathly boring, you know.
No.
Yeah.
Anything upbeat.
You could say, you know, they don't suck all the time.
5 stars.
5 stars.
Didn't fall asleep.
Anyway, that's going to be tonight for this show. This show's going to be, this is it.
Wow.
That's going to be it.
Butchered.
But from Arcade Radio.
Until next time.
Until next time. Thanks for listening in. And we'll see you next. So, hey, I was thinking I'd play a song now.
Okay.
So I think we should jam out to this song.
Okay.
Tune in next time. Same arcade channel.
How do you feel
same
about
arcade time?
How do you feel about reggae music?
Let me get my wig. Just a minute.
I like it.
Oh boy, this is good. We have props.
No, I'm just joking.
That would be awesome. I was just watching last night. I watched Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, and it has the red Lectroids and the black Lectroids, and the black Lectroids are basically Jamaican.
Right.
It's pretty
Now,
awesome.
Was one of the black Lectroids named John Big Booty? Or
Big Booty.
Big Booty.
Shut up, John Big Booty!
That must be Christopher Lloyd's character.
It is Christopher. Haven't you seen that movie?
Of course, many times.
Oh God, it was so good. Christine had not seen it, and she visited last night. We watched.
And Jeff Goldblum, you know, amazing. Why is that watermelon there? I'll tell you later.
RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Wherever you go, there you are. That's my Peter Weller doing Buckaroo Banzai as RoboCop. It's pretty bad. So, for some of you who like my crazy music, I have a full album of songs. I have 16 tracks, and this is the last track I've composed, and it's called Reggae Dreams with a Z, because that makes it sound more, you know, it's got more Z in it, you know.
Okay. Can you share the link?
No, I'm going to play it.
No, but I mean, I've Shazammed some of the beginnings and endings, and they don't turn up. And then after so many shows, I'm like, oh, that's Adam doing that.
Well, I'm gonna release the whole thing on either SoundCloud or CD Baby or something like that. So here we go. Get
Suzanne to do a guest star on it.
Oh yeah, actually, I want her to do a thing for that'd be fun. Okay, this is a song and enjoy it. Here we go.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show. It's got some good bass in it. So if you got your
I can do a backspin.
That's the end. You're still here?
Are we still on the air?
Are we all still here?
I think we're still here.
Is
Are
this
you
reality?
still there?
Go home.
Go home. You don't get some sleep. You know.
Don't you people have homes?
Visit your family. Don't you have jobs or homes or something?